Who, in July of 2021, did you have a son living there with you?
Yes.
And what was his name?
Michael Joseph Vaughan,
Okay, and how old was he at that time?
5 years old.
Okay, and did something happen that day that you are going to remember for the rest of your life?
He went missing.
Okay, and so when's the last time you remember seeing him that day?
In the living room while I went back to pick up his little sister.
Okay, and so when after you see him in the living room, do you remember about what time that was that you saw him?
$6:15.
Okay,
6:10.
and then the way you're saying that, is that a rough estimate?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. After you see him in the living room, what did you do? Or what were you doing that?
I was going to wake up his sister.
Okay. And so when did you notice that Michael wasn't in the house?
When I came back in from outside, I had woken up his sister and left her and went outside and came back in, and that's when I noticed he wasn't in the house.
Okay. And do you know about what time you came in and noticed he wasn't there?
Between 6:45 and 7.
Okay. And so what did you do once you realized that he wasn't in the house?
I turned the house upside down, called my wife, and jumped in the van and started driving around the neighborhood.
Okay. And was it normal for Michael to go missing?
He had walked to a neighbor's on one or two occasions.
Okay, and when he had walked to the neighbor's house, was that like a recent event, or had that been a while prior?
Not within the last, both instances within the last year. Maybe the year prior to the 2021.
Okay, and in those previous instances, did he come back on his own, or did you have to go out and find him?
We went out and he was already there being brought back, so a little of both.
Okay, and when you say being brought back, is that the neighbors bringing
Yes.
him back? And so on this on this occasion, on the 27th of July, you mentioned you went out looking for him. So, or you mentioned you tear the house apart and then went out looking for him. Where did you go to look for him?
I drove down to the splash pad and then drove all the way down 8th Street, down into the hay farmer area that's down by the river, and then turned around and came back up. And I think I went home and then went out on foot after that.
Okay, and do you remember the time that you got home and then went out on foot? Like, do you remember the time roughly when that transition happened?
It was while I was on the phone with Brandy. It was sometime between 7 and 7:20.
Okay. And so when did you call, and who's Brandy?
Brandy's my wife.
Okay, and was she living there with you at the time?
Yes.
And so about when did you call Brandy?
Shortly after 7 o'clock, maybe 7:20.
Okay, did you call her while you were driving? Or
Yes.
when you got back?
When I left to go drive.
Okay. So after you called Brandy and you went looking on foot, what happened after that?
We came back and the officers were there and we hung out in the front yard for the remainder of the week.
Okay, and when you said, did you notify law enforcement?
Yes, I called the police at around 7:20.
Okay, and you mentioned you hung out there around the rest of the week. Were you waiting to see if you got news of Michael?
We were told to stay in place or whatever, but yes.
All right. Yeah, so I just need the red stamp ones. All right, I'm gonna hand you what's been previously marked as State's Exhibit 1 and State's Exhibit 2. Do you recognize the person in those photos?
Yes, it's my son.
Okay. And do you know how close in time to when he went missing these pictures were taken?
Right before, within, I think one of them was on his birthday, so a little under a month.
The state moves to admit Exhibits 1 and 2.
Any objection to the defense? No objection. All right. States 1 and 2 will be admitted.
Since July 27, 2021, have you seen or heard from Michael?
No.
And has anybody, did you have any prior contact with Mr. Wondra, the defendant's state?
No.
Okay, and are you familiar at all with the Wondra household? Or at the time that this occurred, were you familiar at all with the Wondra household?
No.
On the day that Michael went missing, do you recall what he was wearing?
It was a Pokemon shirt and like boxer briefs.
Okay, is that what he went outside in?
He was inside the last time I saw him, but if he went outside, that's what he was wearing.
And as far as the shirt goes, how confident are you that it was a Pokemon shirt?
I'm pretty confident it was a Pokemon shirt. As to what was on the Pokemon shirt, it's debatable. He had several of them.
Is it possible he was wearing a Minecraft shirt?
Oh, it was a Minecraft shirt. 100% it was a Minecraft shirt. I'm sorry. It had a lot of both.
Or is Pokemon a child's cartoon?
Yes.
And is Pokemon a child, or is Minecraft a child's game?
Child's game.
Or I guess maybe it's not.
Confused.
No worries. I guess maybe it's not a child's game necessarily. And do you recall specifically the configuration of the shirt?
I do not. I had several characters on it from what I recall.
And I was gonna save this for your wife just in case, but do you remember Michael's birthday?
2016, June 24th.
All right, thank you, Tyler. No further questions.
All right, any questions from the defense?
Mr. Vaughan, I'd like to get a little bit of the lay of the land of the neighborhood. So your address is what again?
911 Southwest 9th Street.
Okay, so in your neighborhood on 9th Street, can you give us kind of the configuration of that neighborhood? There is, and let me ask you a specific question. There is a kind of a major street to the north of 9th Street. What is that street?
To the east of 9th Street would be, what is that? I'm not good with streets.
Where's 8th Street?
8th Street is one street over to the north.
Okay. Now, does 8th Street, is that like a major corridor that separates?
From all the neighborhoods that are off of that main road, yes.
Okay, so your house and 9th Street is on what side of 8th Street?
The west side, or the, I'm sorry, your question?
Yes, so your house is on 9th Street. 8th Street is in what direction from your house?
To the north.
Okay, so that's what I was getting at. 8th Street is to the north of your house, okay. There is a subdivision on the other side of 8th Street, right?
Yes.
Okay, and that's where the splash pad is?
Yes.
Okay. So the splash pad, would it be correct to say that the splash pad is actually part of the subdivision on the other side of 8th Street?
Yes.
Okay. Have you spent time at that splash pad?
Yes.
So you know how it's configured?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's look at the major roads kind of surrounding that neighborhood. Is 8th Street a major corridor, or does it kind of end?
It's a dead end at the western end.
Okay. And so where it dead ends, is there a dirt road that goes off of 8th
Yes,
Street?
it drops down in the field.
Okay. And where does that dirt road go?
In the farmland, not farmland, there's some ponds down there, I think, and haystacks. I haven't done much exploring down there.
You have been down there though?
I drove down to the haystacks and turned around and came back.
Okay. Is that where you get to the river?
It looks like there may be access to the river.
Okay. Have you ever been down to the river there
No.
before? No. Never been fishing down there or anything? No. So when you're driving down that dirt road that kind of feeds off of 8th Street, is there a drop off on the right-hand side of that dirt road?
Yes.
And where does that drop off into? Is there like a swampy area down there?
Yes.
Okay. And what's on the other side of that swamp? Do you remember?
More land and the river's over there somewhere.
Is I-84 right there as well?
I-84 is also over there.
Okay. Now, so as you're going down that dirt road, to your right is that drop off in kind of the swampy area, right? What's on the left of that dirt road?
Farmland.
Okay. So, kind of surrounding your house there on 9th Street, you have 8th Street that runs into that dirt road, and that dirt road goes down to the river, right?
Yes.
And some farmland, yes? Okay. And on the right is a swampy area, and then across from there is the highway.
Yes.
Okay. And on the left side of that, and kind of right near 9th Street, is a big field. Is that accurate?
At the very end of 9th Street is a big field.
Okay. Is that field farmed, or is it just wild?
It's farmed.
Okay. And let's go to the splash pad now. So the splash pad is part of that subdivision to the north of your street?
Yes.
Okay. And what is a splash pad?
It's a place for kids to go and play in the water.
Okay. And so there are water features there?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a tunnel from the splash pad that goes under Highway 95?
No. You have to go out of the splash pad in the neighborhood to the east of that, and then off of that little, it's just a one-street neighborhood, like 9th Street, and off of that is the tunnel that goes to off there. But there's a trail or a pathway that leads from the splash pad to that street to the tunnel.
So you can access from the splash pad, you can go underneath Highway 95 to the other side of Highway 95, right?
It's not an immediate cross, but yeah, I mean, it's accessible.
Okay. Was your son Michael, was the splash pad someplace that you liked to go?
Yeah,
How often would he go there, would you say?
I've been there a dozen times or so.
Would he ever go there alone?
He tried to go there alone once when his brother went there.
How did that go?
Not well. Grandma found him and brought him home, and he got in trouble. And
Did that happen more than once?
he had wandered off one other time.
So I'd like to go through a little bit of your routine. This is the day that Michael went missing is July 27th, 2021.
Yes.
Is that accurate?
Yes.
What day of the week was that? Do you remember?
Tuesday.
What is your routine on a typical Tuesday?
I had that day off, so I was spending with the kids.
Do you have every Tuesday off? Or you did it that time?
Did it that time.
Where did you work?
I was at Albertsons.
Tell us what your routine is on your day off. Generally, you don't have to go minute by minute, but
Play with the kids, make them lunch, wait for Brandy to get home, eat dinner, go to bed.
just tell me about Brandy. Where did Brandy work at the time?
Brandy also worked at Albertsons.
Was she working that day?
Yes.
What was her shift?
I don't exactly recall. I'm guessing probably something like 5 to, or probably earlier than that, probably 2 to 8 or something like that.
And when you're saying 2 to 8, 2 in the afternoon to 8 p.m.?
Yeah.
So Brandy would have been home Tuesday morning?
Tuesday morning.
You had other people living in the home, right?
Yes.
And who would they be?
My father,
And your father's name?
Vaughan.
And who else?
Brandy, Ben, and Kira. Ben and Kira, my bonus kids.
And so what's Ben's last name?
Nevo, G-H-E-V-O.
And Kira? How do you spell Kira?
K-I-R-A.
And you refer to these as bonus kids. Are these kids of Brandy's
Yes.
from a prior relationship? Okay. And how old are they?
Now or then?
How old are they now?
19 and 15.
Kira's the oldest.
Yes.
Did they live at your home at that time?
Yes.
Were they there that day?
Yes.
All day?
Yes. Kira left after the fact, or during the fact. She left right around the same time that he went missing.
But she was home the rest of the time?
Yes.
Now, when you have Tuesdays off and you're spending, so this is just family time basically?
Yeah.
Spending time with the kids? Okay. So you indicated that the last time you saw Michael was around, what time was it when you went to wake up Michael's sister? And can you refresh my memory, what's her name?
Arya,
How do you spell that?
A-R-Y-A.
And how old was Aria at the time?
2.
And what was her nap time?
Whenever she was taking it out.
Okay. So at this particular time, Brandy had already gone to work at about 2.
Or earlier, yeah.
Okay. And Araya was down for a nap. Do you remember the time that she was napping?
It was between 5:30 and 6:30.
And does she have a designated room?
She sleeps in our room, or she slept in our room.
So what time was it, to the best of your recollection, that you went in to wake her up?
6:15, 6:20.
And to the best of your recollection, you think she went down for a nap at about 5:30?
Yes, probably 5:30.
Can you tell us about what things you did with Michael on that day?
We were playing with his monster trucks. We were looking for all the pieces to one of his, it was like a stadium for all the trucks.
Were you playing with him outside or inside?
Both.
Does he play video games?
Yes.
Was he playing video games?
I don't recall playing video games that day. I know he was on his Switch that day.
So to the best of your recollection, at about 6:15 is when you went in to wake up Aria?
Yes.
And did you see Michael at that time, or did you just assume where he was?
I saw Michael when I went to wake up Aria
Okay. And where was he exactly?
in the living room.
And what was he doing in the living room at that time?
We were playing with monster trucks.
Was he alone?
Yes, and his brother and sister were in their bedroom.
When you went in to wake up Raya, tell us what that looks like. How much time did that take?
She's not easy to wake up, so I mean, it took a little bit. Did not do it in a way where she was going to be a pain for the next while. But I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes to wake her up, and then I changed her diaper and ordered pizza.
Okay, so when you are trying to wake up Aria gently, you're in the room with her, and Michael's not there at that time with you.
Right.
To the best of your knowledge, he's still in the living room playing with his trucks.
Yes.
This entire process of waking her up and then ordering pizza, when you order pizza, do you have a cell phone on you and you order the pizza while you're with Aria?
Yes.
Okay, so you don't go to anywhere else in the house to order pizza?
No.
And to the best of your recollection, you ordered pizza at what time?
6:30, 6:45.
And so what was the very first time again that you went out into the house and realized you didn't see Michael, didn't know where he was?
I went outside at that point and came back in around 7, and he wasn't in the house.
Now, you say throughout this process, Michael had a proclivity for kind of wandering around the neighborhood, right? Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And he liked to play with other kids in the neighborhood?
He didn't have specific playmates in the neighborhood, but he liked to play with other kids.
And so when you realized he wasn't there, did you go and look at some of these other places that you thought he might be?
I drove to splash pad.
Any of the neighbors? Did you check in with any of the neighbors?
Any neighbors that I saw, I asked if they had seen me.
Now, when you say, let me ask this, to the best of your recollection, when did you truly become alarmed?
When I checked the house and he wasn't there and started, when I was on the phone with Brandy, it was pretty alarmed.
And that was around 7:20.
Between 7 and 7:20.
Okay. What was Brandy's reaction?
She thought he was hiding, and I was overreacting, and then she got more concerned the more I got concerned.
Did you have multiple conversations and phone calls with her, or was it just
She was
one?
on this phone the whole time with me.
Okay. And about how long were you on the phone with her?
15 to 20 minutes.
When you say you turned the house upside down, what do you mean by that?
Just checked all the rooms, like places that he wouldn't be anyway. My father's room, just the whole house, making sure he wasn't in there. Because he did like to hide from time to time.
And so you turned the house upside down first, and then you called Brandy?
And then I called Brandy and started driving around, yes.
And you had Brandy on the phone with you while you were driving around the neighborhood?
Correct.
And when it became apparent that you couldn't find him in all normal locations, what happened then?
I got off the phone with Brandy and I called the police.
And that's around 7:20?
Around 7:20.
When did Brandy decide to come home?
I think she came home right after I got off the phone with her.
During this period of time, during the day, were you smoking marijuana?
Yes,
And where were you doing that?
in the shop.
How much marijuana do you smoke on an average day?
Average day, maybe a couple of joints.
So, in this period of time, when Aria was sleeping and Michael was playing in the living room, were you smoking marijuana in the garage at that time?
After I had woken up Aria and ordered pizza, I went outside and had finished one and came back in. I was outside maybe 10 minutes.
When you say finish one, what is a one?
I was smoking a roach of one that I had lit earlier.
And where was Aria when you were smoking this roach?
Inside with her sister.
And so you woke Aria up and you went to have a smoke. Did you see Michael when you went out of the house and to
No.
have your smoke? But you weren't worried about Michael at that time?
No.
Let's talk about his clothes a little bit. With some jogging of your memory, you realized it was a Minecraft shirt rather than a Pokemon shirt. But you don't really remember the characters that might have been on that Minecraft shirt.
He had several of the Minecraft shirts. I don't remember the specific ones, but in my head, it had a lot of characters on it.
Do you remember the color of the shirt?
I believe it was light blue.
And when you say boxer briefs, to me that's underwear. Was he wearing underwear or were these shorts?
They were underwear, but they were shorts.
What does that mean?
They were underwear, but they weren't like briefs. They had legs. They had legs that went down.
So would this be considered something that he normally wore?
I mean, usually he has pants on or something, but we're just screwing around. It was very hot outside.
Footwear, what kind of footwear was he wearing that day? Do you remember?
He was barefoot when we were messing around.
What's he usually wear for footwear?
He has a pair of tennis shoes that he ends up putting on, and he had just gotten a brand new pair of flip-flops.
So what time was it again that you called law enforcement? To the best of your recollection, it's about the same time you were on the phone with Brandy, right? So it's about 7:20? Okay. And when did they arrive? Do you remember?
Not an exact time. I believe they were there when I showed back up.
And what time did Brandy show up? Do you remember?
It's all kind of a blur. I don't remember exactly when she came in. I think I actually first saw her, I was on foot, like running around.
So let's go through that sequence a little bit. So you get off the phone with her, and she's alarmed enough now that she's going to come home, right?
Yes.
And so she comes home. How do you both work at the same Albertsons?
Yes.
And where is that?
Yeah.
Okay. And how long does it take typically to drive from the Albertsons and pay it to your home?
10 to 15 minutes.
Okay. So to the best of your recollection, it would have taken Brandy 10 or 15 minutes to get home after you got off the phone with her.
Yes.
So you're talking around 7:45 or so? When she got home?
She probably got home sooner than that, but yes.
Okay. Who got home, who arrived at your home first, the police or your wife?
I think they were both there when I came home.
And you were on foot when you came home?
Yes.
And your interactions with police, do you remember who they were?
I believe Anita Toll was the first officer I had interaction with.
And to the best of your recollection, how long did you talk with police when they arrived at your home?
How often?
How long?
How long?
Yeah.
I mean, a long time. I haven't put the whole night.
Now, when police arrived, you told them that you couldn't find Michael, right?
Yes.
Okay. And was Brandy home at that time?
Yes.
And was she talking to them as well?
Yes.
Okay. Now, after police arrived and Brandy had arrived home, you then left, right? You left the house.
After the police came and everything?
Yes.
I think we both left a couple of times for like minutes.
Where did you go?
Up and down the street.
So this is a fluid situation. You're talking to the police and you're still kind of looking around for
They
Michael.
wanted us to stay there. We didn't go very far. But, I mean, up and down the street for sure.
So the police instructed you not to go anywhere?
Yes.
And you did, though.
I'm not out of like shouting distance. Like, I mean, we were maybe even line of sight, like, honestly.
Okay, so you didn't get in a car
No.
and drive away?
No.
And so your testimony here is today is that you never went far enough away so you weren't outside of yelling distance or within
Not
some line of
after we
sight.
came back home to the house, or that I came back home to the house.
So once the police arrived, you stayed in close proximity?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. No further questions.
Any redirect from the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Vaughan, you may step down. Does the state or defense wish to retain Mr. Vaughan as a witness?